This week on Motorhead Garage, the crew tests a trick tool, gets the scoop on racing suspensions, discovers the latest rage for tire change, and light up a laser. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. That's right, we're in the back of the Hunter demonstration truck. Why are we here? Well, we want to show you the new Revolution tire changer. On a previous episode, you actually saw a tire balancer, and we looked at alignment system as well. But it all starts right here on the tire machine. This one's simple. Walk us through it, Kevin.
Absolutely. You know as well as I do that we take the greenest technician and give them an oil change wrench and a tire changer. So what Hunter has done with this tire changer is turn them into an operator instead of a tire changer itself. Let's walk through one.
Simple to use. So that's going to pick it up for you. Definitely no back problems there.
That's right. So once we get it on here, all we need to do is center it up. We'll clamp our rim assembly.
All right, that's going to go ahead and center everything up on the machine.
That's right, you saw that come down. So now what we will do is we'll take the lead roller and we set the diameter of the tire.
Okay. Now, old school, I'd be fighting with this big old tire iron and wrench, and I'm doing all this stuff myself. I mean, it's actually going down. It's going to go ahead and start breaking that seed.
That's right. And what you'll notice is we set the location of the TPMS. No more broken sensors.
Nice. That's right. You got the TPMS, the tire pressure monitor system in there, and there's a sensor under there. So this is hugely important. Cost savings as well. A green technician doesn't know that.
Absolutely. So what you'll see is we just check the diameter of the tire assembly, and we'll get started on breaking the beads.
Okay. So it's rolling it around now. The machine's putting the pressure on the bead instead of me forcing it with a tire iron?
Absolutely, and this is what we talk about when we have the same procedure for every tire, whether it's a run flat, a mud tire, or just your standard steel rim.
Wow, so yeah, that's huge too, especially when you're dealing with all these different rims. I mean, that's another aspect. You get a green technician in there, you're doing a lot of rim damage, especially when you're starting to muscle on these things. Absolutely,
and you know as well as I do that most of the tires and rim assemblies coming off the rim are low profile, which makes everything a little harder.
Yeah, I mean, this is no piece of cake itself. This is a big truck tire. I mean, they're tough as well, but them low profiles, they're a nightmare to get off, so it can handle that as well.
That's right, and you see how much limited work I'm doing here. Pretty easy.
Yeah, you're doing absolutely nothing there. You're not even breaking a sweat. I mean, this is not fair.
This is my big moment here, is shucking this tire off.
Well, that was easy. The installation's just as easy. Just reverse the procedure. And believe it or not, Hunter has a walk-away tire machine that you just put on and walk away. Even easier than this one. Let's check in with Brian and see how Hunter takes care of their customers.
So Hunter Engineering's customer support doesn't just stop when the equipment is installed into your business. It actually continues long after the sale, and guys like Joey are responsible for that. Joe, you're one of 400 people around the country that's responsible for servicing the customers and helping people out. So tell me exactly what your role is.
That's right, Brian. We take care of installation of the new equipment, training, and service of the equipment once you've owned it. We're local, so that's why there's so many of us. We're close by. Most of our repairs are done within 24 hours. We keep the parts in stock, the common parts needed. We have all the specialty tools for maintaining them, calibrating them, all that kind of stuff.
And as far as training goes, you need to be, you yourself and all the other technicians need to be kind of on the bleeding edge of all the stuff that's coming out, and Hunter always seems to be introducing new equipment, so you're a busy guy.
Yes, sir, we are. We're all on top of it. We're consistently being trained out in St. Louis. We're all also have an automotive background, so we're familiar with training the guys on not only how to use our equipment, but how it applies to the vehicles.
How big an area do you service, typically?
My area is, it's really just, it's less than a couple 100 miles. It's very close. Emergencies, I can be there very quick. It's very important. Downtime can be very costly, so when a machine's down, we want to make sure we get it back up and running as soon as possible.
As you're the guy that is out there in the field and you see the equipment day in and day out, what are some of the best practices for people that are already using Hunter equipment? What are some of the best practices to keep their stuff working smooth?
Honestly, for a lot of the guys, it's just to slow down a little bit. Our equipment already does the job so quickly. Sometimes guys get in too much of a rush, they end up breaking things that they wouldn't have normally broke.
Well, you provide a valuable service to your customers and to your company. 400 strong, the technicians out there for Hunter Engineering. We're going to be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM through radio since 1977. Trail Tank, high-capacity fuel tanks. Mobile Environmental Solutions, the leading portable mobile paint booth. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, whether we're talking about a 6-second blown alcohol-powered dragster or the industrial world that we live in, there are some hidden parts and mechanical heroes that actually keep the world moving, whether we're talking about going 200 miles an hour or even kind of causing the great animatronic figures in theme parks to work. Bob Douglas, rod ends are what keeps the world on the go.
Yes, they do. Rod ends are used just about everywhere.
And rod end supplies just about everywhere. We're going to talk about the dragster in a minute, but show me and talk to me about some of the examples we have on the table of your breadth and depth of your product line.
Well, we make anything from extremely large, 1-inch hole, 1.25-inch thread, chromoly steel. Got the red injection nylon fiber race, doesn't beat out, doesn't get loose like a Teflon liner. We make a part for Disney for their animatronics.
That's incredible.
That's got a 440 hole in the ball and a 540 thread, so it's fairly small.
And material-wise, we're talking everything from nice steel products, aluminum, and stainless.
And stainless. We do that. We do a lot of connector links, especially in the drag industry, where they have to want a right-hand and a left-hand thread in between a rod end and a connecting link, and that way they can lengthen it and shorten it, that type of thing. We make a lot of products for the shock industry. Okay. The ends, the bearings that go into the shocks. We do 4-bar ends of various sizes for street rods, off-road Jeeps, this type of thing. Clevises, of course, are used in many, many areas. We do a lot of studs for rod ends as well. Instead of putting a bolt through it, we can put a stud in it. Some of the studs are even tapered,
yeah,
that you don't have to drill out your spindles.
That's fantastic. You know, because of your experience and the fact that you've been around these basically your entire life, what are some of the tips you'd give somebody who's needing to shop for rod ends for their particular application?
Well, there are certain items that I personally wouldn't use. I wouldn't use an economy type of rod end on anything that races on asphalt or concrete or that type of thing. I definitely use chromoly steel. But you need to use a size in relationship to what the part is doing. Okay, most of your suspension parts are going to be larger. They're going to be 1/2 inch, probably the smallest, all the way up through maybe a 1.25 inch type rod end. Yeah, you don't want to put a rod end in a place where you've been using a 3/4. You don't want to try to use a 1/2 inch or something any smaller than that, because it probably won't hold up.
Speaking of suspension, this dragster we have in front of us has a 4-link rear end. We're going to go check that out and find out how rod ends help this thing get down the drag strip. You know, Bob, we've had a chance to look the dragster over. Actually, you've looked at it, I've drooled on it. But tell me, as you've looked this thing over, what have you seen as far as rod end applications kind of from the nose to where we are?
Oh gosh, up in the front, we've got rod ends all over the place. You've got smaller rod ends that's used in the steering. Moving forward up into the cockpit, we've got on the brake, the chute release. Moving back, we've got the smaller ones on the injectors to open, and then in the back end, here we've got a 4-link suspension that's got rod ends all over it.
Kind of the business end of the car and really the end of the car that takes the brunt of the abuse. So I'm guessing this is one of the areas where a racer or anybody that has any sort of racing vehicle needs to be on top of things when it comes to the rod ends.
You know, one of the problems is once the rod end starts loosening up and the ball gets loose in the housing, then the rear end wants to start walking, and then it's very difficult to make the car track the way it should going down the strip.
We've gone ahead and removed the top bar out of the 4-link on this side. You can actually see the equivalent bar on that side of the car right there. So you have a replacement. So what do you recommend as far as this application?
Well, definitely you want to use chromoly steel in these applications, because this is a very high stress area. One of the things that we like is our nylon fiber injection molded race rod end. It doesn't beat out like a Teflon liner normally does. Teflon liners go pretty quick. Ours, we've had them on cars that's lasted for a year and doesn't beat out. And then you can assemble them back up, make sure you use plenty of never sees in the thread so you can adjust if you need to.
And the fact that when we get this thing right, obviously for us to keep the rear end of the car square for the owner, we want to make sure we're the exact same length it was, one, when it came out, and two, that it matches the other side.
Absolutely. Also, too, everybody might notice all the different holes in the chassis, and what this is for adjustment, because if you got one side that might be hooking up a little better than the other, so you'll move a bar or two and make that one wheel hook up just as well as the other one. That way you're still staying straight down the strip.
Bob, thank you so much for coming in today. We're going to slide that rod end in, get this guy's rear suspension back together, and we'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Plastic right after this.
The dustless blasting system uses water mixed with an eco-friendly abrasive to remove even the toughest coatings, like powder coat, undercoat, body filler, and heavy rust.
I don't think there's anything out there on the market that it can't take off.
To learn how dustless blasting can save money in an existing business or to start your own mobile paint stripping business, check out dustlessblasting.com/TV.
We actually strip chrome, which is insane, powder coating, which is also hard to believe. Dustless blasted, went right through it, no problems at all.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now you're probably wondering why there's a gearbox and an actual hub assembly bolted to the accessory belt drive system on this V8 engine. I'm going to tell you why, because we're going to look at one of the coolest puller systems you've ever seen. I'm here with Peter from Mechanics Mate. Now Peter, I've pulled pulleys before and installed pulleys. It's a nightmare. I mean, it takes a lot of time and sometimes it doesn't happen so easily. You've changed that. Tell me about Mechanics Mate. How'd you come up with this?
How? I had to remove my harmonic balancer off my engine, and I didn't own a puller, so I borrowed one off a friend who used to play with the LS engines all the time. When I went to use it, it was difficult to use. It took me 20 minutes to take the balancer off. I used a hydraulic cylinder to put the puller back on. It was so easy, and I've gone, next time I had to do the job, I've gone, well, I don't want to buy something that I didn't like. So I got a machine shop, so I decided I'll make something, and so I did.
Now there's a ton of parts down here. Let's look at them. I mean, take me through the table, and actually, how does it work?
How does it work? Look, it works because we came up with a coupling that we put onto a hydraulic cylinder, and so what that coupling does, it allows us to change over attachments in a couple of seconds. So you've got to think of this like your socket set. So where you can change over sockets very quickly and easily, we can do the same with this. So this is how a hydraulic socket set.
Let's start with the pulleys and just work our way down so everybody understands what we got here.
So over here, this is our pitman arm attachment, so you'll see that later, and we've also got same style for a ball joint and sizes in between. Our 3-jaw comes with O-ring on there. So what it does is it's for positioning. So rather than fiddling and trying to get the jaws on there and hold them on, we just snap them on and it's quick and easy. Then we've got installation shafts. We've got some specific attachments that we use. These ones remove the sprocket on the front of the crankshaft for your timing chain. We come over here, power steering, and a couple of install sleeves, different piston ends we use, a hand pump. These are our hydraulic cylinders, and then also we've got our hub attachments. And if you can see on the engine, we've got one mounted on there, and that's for pushing out the half shafts.
Now the beauty of it's how it works. Show us how quickly how it interchanges. That's the neat part. You can use anything for any part of it.
Yes, that's right. So here we go. We'll use our 5-ton here. We're going to use one of our hub attachments, and push, quick, it's on.
That's it.
That's it. So now what we'll do is we'll come around and we'll come over here and we'll get one of our sprocket attachments.
Now we got different pulling powers. We can do different pulls. We can do big pulls, little pulls. It just depends on the attachment. We can even do it manually.
Exactly right.
But what we're going to do is actually show it in action. That's the important part. We're going to have a race. Now I'm going to go old school. You're going to go with this so I actually can see the difference. Well, we got our pitman arms hammered on with a 1/2-inch impact, and trust me, they're on there. We got our bolts loose so we can go ahead and pull it. I got my tools. I'm ready to get started. Peter, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go. No, I got you here, no problem. Get mine set up here.
I'm done.
Wait a minute. I haven't even started. Give me a shot here, will you? No, it's not even going to come off. I'm going to need a lot of manpower. That was quick. Hey, what about the actual harmonic balancer? I mean, you got tools for that as well.
Yes, we do. So on this particular one, we're playing with an LS balancer here. This is off your trucks. So we've made an attachment specific for this balancer because just there's so many of them. What it does is it just slips on and hooks in behind those lugs. So we'll give it a shot.
Okay. And you're pushing on the crankshaft. I mean, there's no undue stress to the system at all.
No.
Oh my,
We're
that
done.
easy.
Yes, that easy. So now we'll change over the attachment. We'll take off that crank sprocket for the timing set.
Now this is usually where I go get my 2 pry bars and I break it and I break the timing set and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and we're done.
Wow, and there's the timing gear right there. Let me see that. Just like that. So we're actually timing gears off. Installation, tell us about that.
Yep, okay, so we just line up the key on there. We'll swap over. We'll go from our 5-ton cylinder that we use there to our 12-ton. We have a piston end on here. We have an install sleeve. These, our install shafts, all come with a hex drive on the end of them, just so for speed. Because when you're buying this, you're buying a system.
Wow, and you can hear it just come to the end. You're right there, bottomed out, ready to go.
You want to put the balancer on there?
No, go ahead. I'll let you do it. This is
okay.
Right there.
Okay, because we don't have a key on this one, we don't have to worry about lining it up, and we don't even have to worry about squaring it because we'll run this straight every time.
All right.
Just
now
take up the
where
slack.
you go get your big block and hammer, and you're hammering this thing, and it's going on there, and you're wiping out the bearings. I mean, this is amazing, absolutely amazing.
And that's done.
You can hear it on there like that. Same system for the power steering. It's just a matter of clipping it on there. Peter, tell us about your website.
Our website, it's mechanicsmate.com.au or mechanicsm8.com. Either one goes straight to our website. We've got a shop on there. If there's something on there that you can't see that you want, ask us because we manufacture these products. So we're happy to make new ones. The reason why we've got the range we do is because shops and customers have been telling us what they want us to do.
Well, fantastic. Go check them out on the website. You know what, Peter, I'm going to go ahead and do this with you. You guys take a short break, but come back because we got more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this. Let's get this one off while we're doing the break, man. This is unbelievable.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt, now included with each set of Cook's headers. Go to stage8.com. Advanced Fuel Dynamics, adaptive E85 performance. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day on auto parts and accessories. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting. Now we have one of our favorite guests in the shop. That's Tony. Why is he one of our favorite guests? Well, we know that he's engraving something incredible on the AP laser. Tony, first question would be, what is the AP laser?
Hey John, thanks for having us. The AP laser is a patented open architecture laser system. It's unlike any other laser on the market because the bottom of the laser unit is actually removable. So we can put any size object underneath, like we did a barbecue smoker a couple episodes back, and limitations are endless.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom comes out, you can put stuff in there. We're engraving a mug right now, are we not?
Yes, it's a powder-coated stainless steel mug.
What are some of the things that you can engrave?
Any kind of organic materials like wood, glass. You can even use materials like acrylics. I've even seen welcome mats like the core coconut fiber doormats. They're laser engraving those. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, you engraved here at Motorhead Garage, and it never ceases to amaze me. Let me ask you a question now. My co-host, Brian Lowens, I mean, not a rocket scientist in no way, shape, or form. Can he run this thing?
I've met him, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, actually he can. The software is pretty easy. It comes preloaded on the laptop that comes with the laser, so it's an all-inclusive package. And then we've got a team of technicians that are come on site, spend a day with you, get you trained, get the laser set up, and then you've got lifetime 24/7 tech support after the fact, so our guys are going to help you out, answer the phone no matter when.
Absolutely. Now, I know you can make some profit with the machine. As a matter of fact, Brian's with some entrepreneurs that's making some extra money with the AP laser.
You know, I don't normally say this, but John, you're right. The entrepreneurial spirit lives in the AP laser. I'm here with Mindy and Jay, and you guys have used your laser to make some really neat stuff, and we're looking at 4 examples. So I want to start with what I'm looking at down in front.
So we do a lot of, just signs, custom signs, especially this one for Christmas. It's that priceless, just gift that you can give with, personalizing it for your home.
The larger pieces are more intricate, and we see a lot of different designs and things executed in the AP laser. But Jay, these took a lot of work.
We have the 1812, which is the smallest AP laser that they sell. So with the bigger signs, it takes a little bit of splicing and cutting to kind of get the design where you want it on there. The beauty of the versatility of the machine is because of the open architecture on the bottom, you can move the larger pieces around so that you have the ability to make signs the size of this one here.
This one is incredible. I mean, we've seen some truly creative things come through here with different folks that use the AP laser, but the fact that this is fully engraved, it looks like calligraphy. It's amazing.
Yeah, that one was kind of special. A gentleman that I work with, he wanted something very special for his wife there for their first anniversary. He left it up to me, total creativity. We put their vowels on the picture for them and totally engraved it and then filled them in. it's a great piece.
An absolutely one-off amazing creation. It's great to have you guys in the shop, and John is back over there with Tony finishing up another unique project on the AP Laser.
Yeah, Brian, that's right. This thing's absolutely ripping here. We're cutting this mug. Things are going well. Tony, different sizes of machines. I mean, I know we can fit that in there. I mean, you have bigger ones, smaller ones, different options if I want to start my own business.
Absolutely. I got an 18 by 12 inch working area all the way up to a 4 foot by 3 foot. So it depends on what your application is. We've got size to fit.
Now it's a good time of the year. I mean, we always talk about that profitability, that the objects, you know, we're turning into something priceless. I mean, good time to buy one of these.
It's a great time because if you get an AP laser, get it installed by the end of the year, you can actually take advantage of the IRS Section 179, so you can depreciate the whole thing right in up front. Actually makes your laser cheaper to purchase.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we had different vendors in here before, different business owners from you. I mean, it was from schools to just people doing it full-time, doing it part-time. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to make some profit.
Yep, limitless.
Yeah, and the projects, I mean, cooker grill we did all kinds of different stuff. I mean, we're turning just a regular object into a priceless object. All right, so this thing's about ready to get done. I mean, what's the next step?
As soon as it beeps, it's going to let us know the job's done. We can just take it out and check it out.
Let's take a look at it, see how it's going. It's moving right along. So the program, Tony, was basically set up. It just engraved everything. I mean, it's going from that computer into the machine, and now, right now, it's ripping it left and right.
That's right. We're just, we finished the image in the software. We send it to the laser, press the start button, and engraves, and as soon as it's done, it's going to beep, and we'll pull it right out.
All right, let's pull it out of there. I heard it beep.
Sounds good.
Wow, look at that.
So this actually isn't our creation, it's actually Mindy's custom creation.
Perfect.
One of her customers.
I'll tell you what, this is awesome. If you want a great product or you have a great product that you want to bring into Motorhead Garage, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. Well, folks, we're out of time for this week, but join us next week. There'll be more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.